While tying my boots, my sergeant asked, "You run better scared or calm?" I looked up at him confused. We weren't doing PT today. The schedule said classroom instruction until 1400. Calm, I guess, I said. He nodded slowly. Wrong answer. Before I could ask what he meant, he walked out of the barracks without another word. I finished lacing up and headed to formation like normal, but something felt off. The other drill sergeants were quieter than usual. No yelling, no smoking privates for crooked gig lines, just silence. First sergeant appeared at the front of the formation. His face was unreadable. "Change of plans today. We're doing a ruck march. Full kit, 12 miles. Groans rippled through the platoon. We hadn't trained for this. Half of us were still recovering from last week's land nav course. One more thing, First sergeant continued. Somewhere on this route, one of you will be selected for a special assignment. You won't know when, you won't know why, but when it happens, you run. I looked at the guys next to me. Everyone was confused. We started marching at 0900. The Georgia heat was already brutal, and my ruck felt heavier than usual. Something was wrong with the weight distribution, but I didn't have time to adjust it. Mile 3. A Humvee pulled up alongside our formation. A captain I'd never seen before stepped out. He pointed at James. "You, get in." James climbed into the vehicle. It drove off. Nobody explained anything. Mile 5. Another vehicle. Another random selection. This time it was Daniel. By mile 8, 6 soldiers had been pulled from formation. No explanation. No pattern I could identify. My sergeant appeared next to me. He'd been walking at the back of the formation, but now he matched my pace exactly. "Remember what I asked you this morning?" I nodded, breathing hard. "You gave me the wrong answer," he said. "Calm soldiers think. Scared soldiers react. Sometimes reacting is what keeps you alive." A black SUV appeared on the road ahead. It wasn't military. The windows were tinted dark. "When that vehicle stops," my sergeant said quietly, "you run into those woods, and you don't stop until you reach the river. Understood?" "Sergeant, what's going on? Do you understand?" "Yes, Sergeant." The SUV stopped. 2 men in civilian clothes stepped out. They weren't American. I could tell by the way they moved, the way they scanned our formation like they were shopping. One of them pointed at me. I dropped my ruck and ran. Behind me, I heard shouting. Not English, then gunfire. Blanks, I hoped. Had to be blanks. This was training. This was all training. I crashed through the tree line and kept running. Branches tore at my face. My lungs burned. I could hear footsteps behind me. Multiple sets. The river appeared through the trees. I didn't slow down. Hit the water at full speed and swam. When I reached the other side, hands grabbed me. American hands. They pulled me up the bank and threw a poncho over my shoulders. "Time," someone called out. 14 minutes, 32 seconds. I was gasping, shaking, covered in mud. A colonel I'd never seen before crouched in front of me. "Private, do you know why you were selected today?" I shook my head. "Because your sergeant identified you as a potential asset 6 weeks ago. Everything since then has been evaluation. Your land nav scores, your reaction times, how you handle stress." He paused. "How you run when you're scared." I thought about my sergeant's question that morning. The wrong answer. "The men who got out of that SUV are intelligence officers," the colonel continued. "The scenario was designed to trigger a genuine fear response. We needed to see how you'd perform when you truly believed you were in danger." "What happens now?" The colonel stood up. "Now you have a choice. You can go back to your unit and finish basic training like nothing happened, or you can come with us and start a very different kind of training." I looked at the river I'd just crossed, at the woods I'd sprinted through, at the soldiers standing around me in unmarked uniforms. What kind of training? The kind where being scared keeps you alive. I thought about my sergeant, about the weight in my ruck that felt wrong this morning, about 6 weeks of tests I never knew I was taking. "I'll go with you." The colonel nodded like he expected that answer. "Good, because we already packed your bags." He handed me a folder with my name on it. Inside was a plane ticket dated 3 weeks ago, destination redacted. They knew I'd say yes before I did.